Well, thank you, Dennis. That was very kind of you to say all those nice things, and I appreciate that. I think you did cover all the awards I got, although I was a little bit offended when you said I was not an athlete. Because although I'm 5'9.5" and run the 100 in under 12 seconds, I've always considered myself an athlete because I played high school football. So anyway, but that is one of the many things I love about Ottawa University, because there's so many athletes here, and you learn so many lessons playing sports that it's just you can't replace it. But so anyway, it's my pleasure to be here. This is the second time I've spoken in Faith Arena. The first time there were students on the right and students on the left, and there was no one on the floor. And so I found myself doing this the whole time. But really enjoyed getting to meet a number of students and being with them. I want to thank Dr. Tyner and all the other people at Ottawa for thinking of me to do this. I've given a lot of talks in my life. I've never given a graduation speech like this, so I feel like I'm honored to be here today. I also want to recognize and thank all the parents, the grandparents, the uncles, the cousins, the aunts, the friends that come here to this very special occasion to see their special person graduate from college. There are very few major transitions in life, and graduating from college is one of them. Mark Twain once said that the two most important days in your life are the day that you were born and the day that you find out why. And I think today, graduating from college is a major step in answering that second question. But I've always loved college. I mean, I had a wonderful experience myself, but it's such a special time. Most of you come in out of high school. I know a lot of you came in as adults, but most of you, when you got here, you were not adults. And you spent 4 years here doing all the things you do that you're in college. All the hard work, the classroom stuff, but then the stuff outside the classroom is really also so impactful. And then 4 years later, you come to an event like today, and you graduate from college, and there's no question when you walk out of this room that you're an adult, you're a grown-up, and you could not have said that 4 years ago for most of you. So, and it's really so much fun. I mean, being in college is just that kind of special time, and you leave much stronger, much smarter, and much wiser, and you're ready to take on the world. As Dr. Tyner said, my talk today is titled Finding Success and Happiness, and I've actually been preparing for this talk for over 20 years, okay? Because, I've always been passionate about trying to help young adults find their way in the world. I've kind of done it myself. I wasn't given too much, but I've learned a lot since I graduated from college in 1971, and so there's a lot of things that I want to share with you. But Dr. Tyner has given me a 20-minute limit and said he would prefer it if it was 15. So I probably already used half of that, but I'm going to go as fast as I can. And I've really condensed all the wisdom I think I've learned in my life into 5 things. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 things that you need to do that will help you achieve success and happiness, both of them. But first I want to give you the definitions. There's a lot of misunderstanding around both of these. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Success is not about money. Success is not about fame. It's about realizing a worthy ideal, and it's progressive. So one of the things I want you to start thinking about is, what is your worthy ideal? What is it that you really want to accomplish that is a worthy ideal? And then there's happiness. Happiness is very much misunderstood, but I believe it's the natural result of focusing on other people, not yourself, seeing what's right, not what's wrong, being grateful for what you have, and living a moral life. And I think Aristotle came up with that 2,500 years ago, and I don't think there's a better definition out there. These definitions of happiness and success are also very consistent with and included in the Bible, and so they're very true. So, here are the top 5 things that you need to do to find success and happiness. Number 1, set goals. A few of my favorite quotes. If you want your dream to come true, you first have to have a dream. Another one is, a person without a goal is like a ship without a rudder. Can you imagine being in a ship without a rudder? You would just wander and go with the tide. And finally, begin with the end in mind. That's a beautiful way of thinking about goals, but you really have to have a goal, have to have something in mind, and then you know where you want to go. So here's how you set your goals. First, you set goals that inspire yourself. Don't set goals with numbers, set goals with words. Don't say you want to lose 10 pounds. Say you want to be fit and healthy. You know, inspire yourself with goals. I've always done that. I've always loved writing down goals. And you can set goals for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year. But my favorite goals are the goals that are about someday. Someday I want to achieve something. Someday, when I was 24 years old, I said, someday I want to be married to the girl of my dreams and have a family. That was someday. And I got married, and I actually wanted to wait till I was 30 to get married, but I got married about 2 months before that. But that was my someday goal, and those things move you in the right direction. That's number 1. Number 2, you've heard this before, is work hard. Try something hard. Fail. Repeat. Fail. Repeat. Succeed. That's how success is. It's not easy. But there's also some beautiful things that happen when you work hard that's really the reason I'm telling you to work hard. Hard work leads to competence. Competence leads to confidence. It takes confidence to succeed, and it all starts with hard work. I'll say that again. Hard work leads to competence. Competence leads to confidence. A famous basketball coach once said, deserve victory. The harder you work, the more you deserve it. The more you deserve it, the more you get it. That's the only way you can achieve good things. Again, hard work improves your competence and your confidence. It also builds your resilience and your self-esteem. I think a lot of young adults today are suffering from not enough resilience and self-esteem. And the way to cure that is just work hard. Invest yourself in a worthy cause, and your self-esteem and resilience will both go up. So when I talk about working hard and you're about ready to enter the real world, here's something I want to say. I mean, the real world and a job can be compared to a college and a classroom. If you just go to class, don't do your homework, and don't do anything else, you can probably get a C. That's like a 40-hour week. If you work 50 hours a week, it's like going to class and doing your homework, but not doing anything extra. But if you really want to get an A in your first job or in any job, you need to go to work, do your homework, and do something extra. And that's how the real world compares to college. Number 3, take risk. This is hard. Some people are very risk averse. A few of my quotes. Security is a superstition. It does not exist in nature. If you think you're being safe, you're not. You know, if you sit still, you are not safe. You have to keep moving. Another one is I like is go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is. Another one, don't be afraid to fail. You know, fear of failure is a major thing for a lot of people, and they're frozen and inactive. But don't be afraid to fail. Everyone else has. Everyone else has already failed. You've already failed. You'll fail a lot. The more you fail, the more you succeed. Mark Twain once said, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed than the things you didn't do than the things you will do. So take risk. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Learn to manage and mitigate risk. And remember, no risk, no reward. No risk it, no biscuit. When I started my company in 1991, I went out on a limb. I reduced my salary to zero. My wife and I started this company. But I was prepared for this risk. It was not a crazy risk. I put it all on the line. I was prepared. I had a plan, and it paid off. That's what risk can do for you. Number 4, find your talent. Talent is what you are naturally good at with little or no effort. We all have God-given talents. And I think we all have a sense of what they are. You know, if you don't know, ask your friends, ask your parents. They'll tell you. We are all really good at something naturally. That's what you want to focus on. Don't worry about your passion. I hate it when people give people like yourself the advice about follow your passion. That's bad advice. Don't worry about your passion. Don't follow your passion. That changes over time. Follow your talent, what you're naturally good at with little or no effort. That's your best chance of making it in this world. But talent alone is not enough. Hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. You have to work hard on developing your talent. You know, most of you probably watched the Suns game last night, and you watched Devin Booker. Do you think that guy doesn't work hard? I mean, he's got talent, amazing talent, but he's developed that talent. He didn't get that good without working hard. I can assure you, and I know you know that. But here's the good news. The person that is born with a talent they are meant to use will find their greatest happiness in using it. So there's a connection between your talent, your God-given talent, and your happiness. You know, if I had become a doctor, let's say, I would have been terrible and I would not have been happy, I don't think, because I wasn't good at my job. But I found something that I was good at, and I did that. When I started my company in 1991, I hired a consultant to help me, and he asked me a really important question that I'm going to ask you. How are you going to compete to win? Many of you are athletes, so you understand that when you go out there in the world, there's competition, and you're going to go up against them head to head. That's the beauty of sports. It's prepared you to compete. But how are you going to compete to win? I think you're going to have to use your natural talent if you really want to win. You know, if I worked as hard as Devin Booker on basketball, I don't think I'd be as good as him because he has the natural talent. And finally, in the top 5, number 5 is manage your career. A lot of people don't think about that. I mean, I know people that are way smarter than me that went to Harvard, that were White House fellows, but they stayed in the wrong job too long and they never really reached your potential. I think what God wants all of us to do is to reach our potential, and we all have a potential that's way up here and we're here. So we need to work on that. But to do that, you have to manage your career. And when I say that, number 1, the first job that you're about to take is not that important. Don't worry about it. I mean, a lot of people think, well, I've got to find the perfect job. Trust me, there are no perfect jobs out there. Just get a job. It could be working at the window at McDonald's for 6 months, and you learn a lot, and then you move on. But also, I would say you want to work for good organizations. You want to work for great bosses. I've learned more from my bosses than I've learned from anything else. But it is important to manage your career to keep moving. And but I will also say, though, in your career, most of us have 2 words that are very special to us that really just get us excited when we think about what we want to do with our life. My 2 words were construction and investment. I've asked many, many high school students, what they want to do when they grow up, and they would always have two words. They'd say, I love to travel and I'm good at computers, so I want to be a computer consultant. But I want to ask you today, what are your two words? What are the two words that really get you excited, that get you, invigorated to think about your next step and about your life's work? So you want to find the right industry. In my case, construction and investment kind of fit in with the real estate industry, and that's where I went, and I was good at it. But the real key in your success is to keep learning and keep growing. You've got to stay on the growth curve if you want to continue to compete. And then you gravitate towards your natural talent. So, in conclusion, I've given you a lot of advice today. It's all in the book. But all I've really said is to find success and happiness, which we all want and which is elusive, and it's never permanent. We have to set goals. We have to work hard. We have to take risk. We have to use our natural talent, and we have to manage our career. I'd like to encourage you to think about your first job as just an adventure. Keep your faith. Use your God-given talents. Continue to pray for strength and wisdom, and God will open the doors for you. Thank you. Thank you.